Hey, yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? Back again, y'all. Hopefully everyone's been doing good, you know. Just want to talk about something very interesting today. I think it needs to be talked about because, you know, um, I think there are a lot of different types of relationships out here. Hey, what's going on, brown dude? Life, man. Good to see you up in the building, fam. Good to see you up in the building. Yes, indeed. Um, we deal with a lot of toxic relationships, and I just wanted to talk about three types of toxic relationships I'm aware of. I'm gonna break this down to y'all in a way that you have never heard it before. So for those coming into the building, just hit the like button for yours truly. Share this live with those right now that you may know of who would want to come check out this type of live stream. Well, if anybody has been in a toxic relationship, or if you um if anybody's been in a toxic relationship, I think this live stream will be for you. I would try to give a survey on that, but I don't have a lot of people in the building yet, so I'm not going to do a survey. But let's get right into it, shall we? All right. So with that said, okay, now what are these types of relationships I'm talking about? What are these three types of relationships that I'm talking about? Well, one type of toxic relationship is a poisonous relationship. The second type is a venomous relationship. And the third type is a viral relationship. And no, we're not talking about going viral in a good way. No, we're talking about like virus. Yes. We're going to get to the last one later because I kind of broke it down a little bit more. I was kind of thinking about this before I started this live stream here. Of course, this has been many months in the making. You know, sometimes I do live streams just kind of like just at the like last minute. I might think of something and I just want to go live, but that's rare. Usually my lives are planned out. So let's talk about the first type of toxic relationship, a poisonous one. Now, there's definitions on poison, but I'll give y'all my own perspective on it. Um, Poison is something that you intake. It's basically a harmful substance that you intake. You know, like it's usually represented as like a solvent, but it can also be a solid. You know, um, it could be that. So it's something that you intake. So if you look at it from the realm of a toxic relationship, a poisonous one, it basically means that I say in that case, yeah, you're in charge of your own destiny as far as what you decide to take on, as far as what you decide to digest and ingest. What you put in is up to you. You know, we have to keep that in mind. But that's my take on poison. Let's see what others have to say out there in this world about poison. Okay, so similar to what I just said, one definition of poison that I've noticed, and y'all can look this stuff up. Don't take my word for it. I'm just going off what I'm looking up right now. Uh, but it means like poison. One definition of it is like a substance with an inherent property that tends to destroy life or impair health. The second definition of it is something harmful or pernicious as to happiness or well being. So basically, the first definition talks about an actual substance, and the second definition talks about an influence, not like drug or alcohol influence, but just more so like the influence of your environment, based on someone or something. So these things that you decide to put inside of you, You digest it, you know. So you got to think about a lot of these relationships that we continue to put up with, that we continue to digest. That's a poisonous type of relationship. Yes. And that represents one of the toxic type of relationships I wanted to talk about. And I think a lot of us are in those types of toxic relationships, you know. Um, of course, I talk about different types of relationships all the time, but this is kind of a new dynamic to the whole relationship discussion. You know, this is not only talking about different types of relationships, this is talking about different types of toxic relationships. Because you can have a poisonous courtship, you can have a poisonous friendship, you can have a poisonous kinship. The list goes on, you know, the list goes on. But let's get off into the second type of toxic relationship. Yes, the second type of toxic relationship is a venomous toxic relationship. Now, I explained to you the definition of poison from my perspective, as well as from what I looked up online. Now, let me give you my definition from my perspective about venom. Now, venom, you know, versus poison, you know, poison is something that you ingest, you know, um, whereas venom is something that, you know, is something that's injected into you or you inject. So yes, poison is what you ingest or digest or intake, and venom is what you inject, you know. So how is this? It's similar, you know, you would think about it. It is similar to poison. You know, I'd say in both cases, once again, you are in charge of your own destiny. Okay. Now, I'd say um injections is more direct than digestion or ingestion, because you know it takes time for stuff to get down into your system. You know, even when you decide to swallow it, eat it, you know what I'm saying, when you decide to swallow it or eat it, you know. um and I want to do more of this side by side comparison of poison and venom. But before I get to that, let's just talk about what venom is. Okay. And we're not talking about the Marvel comic book character Venom. We're not talking about that. So, okay. Yeah. So give me a second while I get this together for y'all. Okay. Should come up here shortly. Now, it's kind of like a reinforcement of poison, right? Because anything can end up poisonous, whether it is healthy for you or not healthy for you. Okay. But venom is actually the injection of something that's poisonous. Think about that. Okay. So it's an even more direct type of intake of something that is harmful for you or that could be harmful for you. I guess with the poison, you're intaking or ingesting something that could be harmful for you. But see, with poison, you're taking in something that is not only could be harmful for you, but it's actually already harmful for you. You know, so it's like a double entendre with venom. Now, the definition that I've looked up for venom is a poisonous substance secreted by animals such as snakes, spiders, scorpions, and typically injected into prey or aggressors by biting or stinging, you know? And so it gives you also another good definition of venom from the I don't know, the non hands-on perspective, the non-physical. It says it's venom can be extreme malice and bitterness shown in one's attitudes, speech, or actions. Now, just to kind of correct myself, maybe I won't need to, but when I mention poison as far as that type of toxic relationship, you just basically, you know, you have to deal with what you decide to put inside you, right? You know, you may have good intentions about things. That's what I wanted to add about the poison, you know, but you don't think at that time it's going to do you any harm. So sometimes, you know, something poisonous can be that you take on too much of it, or you, I don't know. Yeah, you may take on too much of it, or you don't know what form it's going to take once you start to put it inside of you per se. You really don't know what the outcome could possibly be. Whereas with something that's venomous, you know what the outcome is. You know what the outcome is. You know that it is poison for you. And by the way, yeah, I did start this live 15 minutes later. I explained, like just to some of the people that I talk to behind the scenes, like, had to take care of a few things, y'all. So, here I go. Just thought I'd put that out there. But yeah, when you take on something that's venomous, you already know it's not good for you already. Okay. Now they usually relate this to the animal world as far as venom is concerned. But let's do a side-by-side comparison. Let's see what a lot of people have tried to say about this. I've given y'all basically my side-by-side comparison, but let's see what other people has to say. Now, and I just kind of looked this stuff up here. Like I said, I mean, y'all can Google search this, look up venom versus poison. You'll see kind of sort of what I'm saying to you. What I'm seeing right now says that poisons work their deadly magic through touch, ingestion, inhalation, basically what I said earlier, while venoms are injected directly into a wound. So basically everything I've been saying. And sometimes it's not necessarily a wound. Sometimes it's just bare skin. Keep that in mind about venom, because something can bite you. Yes. And then it says also, as it turns out, snakes don't always inject venom when they bite. Some 20% of more bites from, these things. They said some 20% or more of bites from venomous snakes or dry bites that create a wound that won't include venom. Now, these things I didn't really have to mention, but I just thought I added that in there, because this could also bring some connotation that with the venomous side of toxic relationships, given what y'all just heard about the definition of earlier, about someone being bitter towards you, I was going to give y'all my perspective of it, but they did it for me, based on what I read to y'all. But there may be someone that's bitter to you, okay, but it's not going to affect you like that. Maybe you're immune to their venom, their bitterness, venom. Yeah, their bitter venom. You're immune to it. Now, you don't want to be consumed even though you're immune. You know what I'm saying? Immunity only goes so far. Now, you have people who have been trained to be around killer bees, and in order for them to keep their immunity, they have to constantly get bit by these killer bees. But I say these people have trained their bodies to deal with that. This is a special type of a trade or a career that not everybody's made for. So this should tell you that in the world of dealing with these types of toxic relationships, not everybody's made to deal with these type of people on a regular basis. Hold on one second, y'all. 12 coming. Okay, never mind. 12 wasn't for me, just to let y'all know. No, that was the ambulance. So that's why I really said never mind, But all right, getting back to what I'm talking about. A lot of people, I think more than anybody, I think there are more of these venomous type of toxic relationships going on than these poisonous type of toxic relationships going on. Because I believe that with the toxic relationships that are poisonous, you just didn't know at the time you were around someone that's narcissistic. Okay, you found out. Just like you was eating something, or you intake, or you inhaled, or you took something in, and you didn't know it was harmful, but you found out. So similar to like someone that's narcissistic, you didn't know they were harmful, but you found out, right? So that's poisonous as far as the toxic relationship. Now, venomous, that person ain't no good, but you're still trying to inject them. You think you could deal with them. To me, this reminds me of a lot of people that try to fix people, that try to deal with these fixer-uppers. These people are no good to you, no good for you, but you think that you're immune, that you can deal with them, right? You can deal with them, but that only gonna get you so far. Just like you getting bit by that snake will only get you so far. Let's see what Brown Do Life said. Some toxic people can put on mask, no problem. Yeah, that's true. That goes back And that goes back to the poison aspect of the toxic relationships. They got this mask on. You should be wearing a mask around them, though. You should be cautious. See, that's the mask you need to wear. You know, you need to have a COVID-19 mask on. You know what I mean? You need to be more aware of them. You need to see a lot of people as poisonous. And of course, you know, you should know better to know that someone is venomous. Because like I said, venomous is you intaking something, you know, based on injections. You know it's already poisonous. Of course, we can go as far as to say, you know, certain drugs are poisonous, and then you inject it, it's going to end up venomous. But at the time you're not thinking about it, you're like, oh, I'm just trying to get a hit. But I'm not going down that rabbit hole talking about drug abuse and things like that. I only can say much love to those who may suffer with drug addiction, and I hope that you know, maybe you can you know, just things get better for you. You know, that's the best I can say about that. But yeah, man, these people put on these masks and you don't know what they're about, but you find out how poisonous they really were. But yeah, you get around a lot of people who like to be around venomous people. A lot of people like to take in other people's poison. They want that venom, like, you know. But see, to me, I've always said before, if love is not in them, they have venom. I really want to get more into this whole venomous side of things, but or I think in many ways I have already. But let's get off into the final type of toxic relationship I wanted to talk about. Viral. Let's talk about viral. Okay. Now, viral comes in two ways. Viral comes in two ways. You know, but we'll get down to what I mean by this. But when you think of viral, think of a pathogen or think of something that's pathological. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, pathological has a multitude of definitions, but in this case, it's from the viral space as far as pathological, you know. So, you know, because they have this idea of a pathological narcissist. Going back to what I just told y'all before about narcissism, right? So that means that someone that is a narcissistic person is a very, very toxic person to be around. And chances are they are very poisonous and they're very venomous. See, they affect you both ways. You may find out later they were narcissistic, but at least hopefully you could live and tell about it and not be around that type of person no more. And they could end up venomous to you because you still choose to be around that narcissistic person, trying to think you can help them to be better. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I feel you, brown dude. Life got to walk around with that N95 on every day. You gotta have that N95 swag on these folks, these haters that you didn't know they were toxic people. But if you know they toxic people, you got to N95 them out of your life. Yes, sir. You know, but see, here's an interesting word for pathological, you know what I'm saying? Or pathogen, like, well, just pathological. Let's just talk about pathological. It says relating to pathology, okay? Or it just means also involving, caused by, or of the nature of a physical, mental disease, okay? Now, that's just talking about that aspect, okay? And that's just in the mental world. So yes, some people can be mentally toxic to you, okay? But this also means, you know, like I said, involving, caused by, or of the nature of a physical or mental disease. There's this aspect of disease, okay? But this really comes down to virus, okay? Because this is really what I want to tell y'all. Sometimes they confuse the idea of a virus and a disease, okay? I think the idea of what a virus is more or less is basically a disease that can be injected into you or be transferred or transported into you, you know, kind of like what they talk about with sexually transmitted diseases. But then when it gets inside of you, it becomes like a virus, you know. But that's for another topic, because they try to say HIV causes AIDS, you know, where more or less I would think that it would be like AIDS actually causes HIV, because it's really a disease that gets inside of you, and that's how it becomes like a virus, right? But I don't know, all the medical people, y'all can help me out with that if I didn't really say that correctly, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, but yeah, just looking up virus, it means like the nature of, caused by, or relating to virus or viruses. Okay, so I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me, y'all. Uh, okay, so just because I just looked up pathological for y'all. Let me look up pathogen. Okay, let me look up pathogen. Okay, uh, now pathogen just means a bacterium, virus, or other microorganisms that can cause a disease. You know, so it's just, to me, this flip flop of what's a disease first, what's a virus first. You know, it's this flip flop. But nevertheless, let's talk about how this virus. Let's talk about the nature of this, because I told y'all about the nature of something that's poisonous, the nature of something that's venomous. Now let's talk about the nature of something that's viral. And from what I've gathered, it could be airborne or it could be bloodborne. So those are two ways you can catch something and it become viral, you know? So this really is it's really different than an actual thing that's venomous. So that's why there's always this idea that virus and venom, like virus kind of operates in the sense of similar to venom, but it is quite not the same, because when it gets inside of you and it's injected, it becomes bloodborne. It's not like venom, where venom gets inside your body and it affects your whole body. A virus can just more or less get in your bloodstream and affect your bloodstream, and then you're just done after so long, you know. Now an airborne virus is actually similar, more similar to venom than a bloodborne virus, because an airborne virus gets inside of you, it will affect every part of your body, just like venom does. Whereas a bloodborne virus that gets inside of you, it affects a lot of your bloodstream per se. You know, now, what does this have to do with toxic relationships? Okay, now I explained to y'all my take on what a poisonous type of toxic relationship is. I explained what a venomous type of toxic relationship is. Now I will finally explain what a viral type of toxic relationship is. Okay, now the airborne type of toxic relationship is gossip and rumor, because you know, gossips and rumors, they're spoken into the air, and somehow they come back to you, and somehow they infect you, somehow they get inside of your mind, somehow it affects you on a pathological place, you know, in your mind, you know. So that's the airborne side of the viral aspect of toxic relationships. So this can mean when you're around somebody, they only go off of what they hear, all this hearsay, and this is what they think about you. So in a nutshell, this is how a lot of this this anger towards you start to come about, you know. So it's kind of similar to poisonous, because you didn't know that someone was going to come at you this way, but the way that they came at you in regards to viral was based on what they've heard other people say. It wasn't really based on them having this narcissistic way of how they were going to treat you. Then you found out down the road based on your premonitions and intuitions. It was literally based on them going off these rumors and things like that. And they just brought it back to you. I heard this. Well, I saw this. But somehow that affects you. Hold up. I heard 12 again. Dang, my bad. That was another ambulance. What's happened? Somebody got infected by toxins. Was it venom? Was it poison? Was it something viral? Yeah, man. Okay, now I just explained the airborne aspect of the viral type of toxic relationship. Let's talk about the bloodborne type of toxic relationship. To me, a bloodborne type of a toxic relationship is the grudges. Okay, is the grudges, and it's similar to venom in that regard, you know, because I think it brought up some idea of being bitter, you know, as far as venom, if I'm not mistaken. I brought up the idea, at least I read it off to y'all, this idea of what venom is. um, from that standpoint. Okay. Let me see. Let me just verify. I got to verify everything. Okay, yeah. And I said that one of the definitions of venom was extreme malice and bitterness shown in one's attitude, speech, and actions, right? Okay, now take that a step further with the bloodborne type of viral toxic relationship. It's taking bitterness to another level, okay? So it runs deep, this pain of someone holding a grudge towards you. You know, venom can subside or it can quickly kill you, right? But a grudge tends to last a little longer. And do not some bloodborne viruses last a little bit longer? That slow death. You almost wish that you could have died quicker. But the grudge is like a slow death. And when someone is holding a grudge towards you, it's a slow death. It's a slow process of this type of toxic relationship that they just, every time you get around them, they're just only going to continue to show this malice and bitterness, as I explained before, but from another level as far as a grudge. So basically, a grudge is a culmination of all the malice, all the bitterness, all of the bad speeching, all of the bad ways they treat you, all combined together. That's what a grudge is. And this continues. This does not stop. It only stops when you stop, as far as the relationship itself. When the relationship dies, just like a virus, it continues to only get worse until you die. So really, someone that holds a grudge towards you, they're not trying to see you grow. They don't want y'all to get better. This is, to me, probably the most toxic of the toxic type of relationships, you know? Kind of like if there was a hepatitis B and a hepatitis C, this viral type of toxic relationship, the second type of viral type of toxic relationship, the bloodborne type, to me, this is the worst because it's a deep-seated grudge that they just keep trying to have towards you. Forget gaslighting. This grudge is even worse than that. This is literally like them putting gas inside of your blood. They want you to suffocate. They want you to just always be hurt. You know, it's going to make you bitter. It's going to make you hurtful. You know, you ain't going to probably be able to know how to counteract that narcissistic, that evil narcissistic tendency. You're going to be too crippled. The bloodborne is going to make it to where there's no chance of recovery and there's no chance to react. Or, you know, some people might think about revenge. Yeah, I get it. You know, but maybe you will, you know, you won't feel too good to do that. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Had to get an H2O check, but you know, sometimes you be drinking too fast and then you start coughing and choking. Yeah, I'm thirsty, y'all, but ladies, I ain't thirsty, so don't get that twisted. I'm thirsty, but I ain't thirsty. Yeah, but I think that pretty much wraps up this live stream here. This is actually one of the shortest lives I've ever done in a long time. I think my first ever live stream I've done was the shortest one. And this one, I don't know if it will be shorter than that one, but it is short. I think in a nutshell, there's no more I need to explain. I mean, everything's pretty straightforward as far as toxic relationships. And I just wrapped it up to y'all in a nutshell. If anything, those listening to this on a replay, if y'all, if I guess you want me to talk more about it, I mean, I really have no more to talk about it, but if there's some suggestions you want to make, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. But I think this is pretty straightforward. A lot of people know the signs, they know the red flags, they know the symptoms that they're going to get from certain toxic types of relationships. You can see the behaviors beforehand. And obviously, for those who are recovering from things they weren't aware of, you should know better now. You shouldn't keep trying to um, go back to a bad situation. Sunrise, what do you say, Abrandu Life? Sunrise Hoodie has a video about love bombing. Oh yeah, man. And I guess love bombing. I'm not really too familiar as far as the terminology, but I understand what it means in this overall, as far as kind of the context of what it could be. And I think that affects someone that I think all across the board. Doesn't matter what type of toxic relationship you is, you're gonna always have this narcissistic person trying to act like they love you, whether in a poisonous type of toxic relationship, you didn't know that their love was actually fake, you know, or in a venomous type of toxic relationship, you know that they ain't no good for you, but they still keep trying to have this little mask on their face, if you will, as far as acting like they love you. You know they don't love you, but you keep trying to act like they love you. You know they don't love you. You know they venomous. And then, of course, the viral types of toxic relationships. You know, they don't love you. You know what I'm saying? They keep saying they love you, but they going off these rumors. You know what I'm saying? These airborne, viral types of toxic relationships. They acting like they love you, but they quit to hear on these rumors. Or these bloodborne type of toxic relationships that are viral. They keep holding these grudges towards you, but they'll still love bombing you from time to time. Like, I miss you. Like, no, you don't miss them. Uh, okay, Brown Do Life. I'll keep that in mind. I'll work on a live stream about not using game. I've been just dropping it here and there as videos, kind of like my way of just kind of putting it out there that I know what I'm talking about, and just kind of, just kind of putting it out there in the atmosphere. People got the world so mixed up. I might actually do a live stream, Brown Do Life, about game. I haven't decided, but since you made that request, I will work on that, fam. I actually will work on a live stream about not using game. I'll work on that live stream. What else you said? Because it's based on your first comment that you said. I'd be interested in listening to a live stream about not using game for getting women. I did see your video about that. Very interesting, especially the artificial society. Yeah, man. Like now see, I won't make an actual video about the artificial. I won't make an actual live stream about the artificial society. I'll add elements to that in a possible live stream down the road about not using game, but I'll definitely keep that in mind, fam. That I'll keep that in mind. Just because you made that request, I'll work on that, fam. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say in a nutshell, y'all. I hope that everyone kind of like this. This is kind of an interesting path for me to take as far as really explaining toxic relationships. And of course, yes, I am a survivor of a toxic relationship, a toxic type of relationship. I am a survivor of it myself. So I only speak of someone that has walked down this path before. I don't want to seem as just a student. I am someone that has experience at these things, and that's why I can express this with you guys with no hesitation, But nevertheless, hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made some sense too. Feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. And let me see what else Brown Do Life said. If the society is artificial, then that means people get to each other even if they're not attracted to each other like that. That's correct, Brown Dude. That's correct. And then what else you said? In other words, dating each other's mask. Yep, that's it. because they always talk about that term. You know, you always put your best person or your first person forward. You don't really know the second person. You only know a person's first person. That's the mask. And that's part of that artificial society. But yeah, for those who like my type of content and you happen to like what you hear and you haven't subscribed yet and you want to see more content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. And check out a lot of my older content. I haven't been on here long, you know, making content. Given the date of this live stream, I started out making content in 2019, even though I've been on YouTube since 2011, you know, but probably could have had more subscribers by now. But hey, I wanted to make sure that if I did decide to put out content in live streams, I want to make sure that yours truly knows what he's talking about. I would hate to go back 10 years from now. I would hate to look back 10 years from now and be like, what the world was I saying to everybody? You know, but yeah, I'd appreciate that if you hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content. I do content videos as well as live streams. Check out the motor videos. I think you'll like it. I got a lot of different playlists. This channel is a very diverse channel. Okay. Feel free to share this live in the videos that you tend to look at here at this channel. Especially those on the replay. You check this out. That'd be awesome. Yeah, just share this. You know, I just try my best to reach out to everybody with this type of information. I try to be as positive as I can and as truthful as I can. But otherwise, the only thing else I can say is, oh yeah, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. And if you need to reach out to me, look at my about section. I got all my information there. If you need to reach out to me, I got my email address. I got a couple other channels and platforms on YouTube, and yeah, you can reach me there. I got a platform outside of YouTube as well. I got a Patreon that I'm working on. It's not up and running yet. I'm trying to get the whole payment scale figured out. So, you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to support me, you can support me on Patreon with some of my content that I put there instead of YouTube. And if someone just happened to want to donate to yours truly, I also have my Cash App link in the about section. I don't put it out here at my live stream because it's not something that I flash and wave at everybody per se. But, you know, I'm pretty sure somebody out there may want to say, hey, man, I like what you're doing. Is there a way I can donate? Well, look at my about section. You'll see my link for my Cash App if you want to donate to yours truly. Other than that, just want y'all to know that no matter what it looks like out there, it's only going to get better from here. And until next time, signing out.